Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Paola, and today I have a very special guest. Gabby, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us about why we're here today?
Of course. So my name is Gabriela Martins. I am a Brazilian kidlit author, and we are here today because of this beauty right here. This is my debut book, Like a Love Song. This beautiful cover is illustrated by Eric Davila and composed, designed by Casey Moses. And I love it.
I love it.
It looks very nice if you decide to buy 30 of them.
Which you should.
You won't have to think about Christmas presents for a very long time. So
Exactly. Or birthday presents or Valentine's Day presents. It's all there. So, Gabby, what is Like a Love Song about?
This girl right here, who is an international pop star, she's living the life, right? So she's topping the charts. She has had 2 world tours. And then her boyfriend, the all-American sweetheart Trent, breaks up with her during an award show. And she becomes a meme. She just goes viral for all the wrong reasons. And in a desperate attempt of her PR team to get the tabloids talking about something else, they hire an indie actor, and that's William, the fake boyfriend.
I love things about pop stars, things about musicians, and paired with fake dating. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. It's a fun thing to explore, especially concerning teenagers.
Yeah, exactly. It's very important that we think about how we treat teenage stars. Nachi suffers from cyberbullying. This is a thing that happens. And she notes in one of the chapters, she looks at what's being said and she realizes that the people that are making these memes, these TikToks, they're all older than her. That's a dynamic that we also should be careful.
So who did you write Like a Love Song for?
So my dedication, it says, to all the teens who didn't know they had a place in the world. I see you, you belong. I was a teacher for 10 years. Most of those 10 years, I was a high school teacher. And at first, I had to kind of confront my own ghosts and skeletons in the closet and stuff because I had a very hard time as a teenager. And I started teaching adults. And then when I found out I was going to have to teach teenagers, it was like, so I resisted that and they resisted me. I had a very hard time with my first group for the first months. I had classes with them Monday and Wednesday. Mondays and Wednesdays went from being the worst days of the week to being the best days of the week. And I guess that was how I finally made peace with also who I was. So that's why I wrote this book. It's a book that is about fake dating and celebrity culture, but at its heart, it's a book about finding out who you are and deciding to love yourself.
Yeah, I love that, and I think that's what makes a successful book. That's what gets the message across. What was your favorite scene to write?
I really like the first scene that Nachi and William meet, knowing they will be fake dating.
In a movie or TV series adaptation of Like a Love Song, who would you like to be the director?
That's so hard. I think that like one of my favorite rom-coms, like everybody else, of like the recent rom-coms, right, would be To All the Boys I've Loved Before. But I would really like it if a Brazilian director could direct, because I just feel that there are certain aspects of being from another culture, decentralizing the United States a bit, that specifically like someone from the global south would get. But if you could be someone Brazilian, that would be like even cooler.
So this is the fill in the blank section. So the first book I ever loved was...
I'm gonna give a super pretentious answer, but I'm gonna explain it. The Picture of Dorian Gray. Unlike most authors, I did not grow up around books, and so my grandma had 2 books that were kind of like the family heritage. Those 2 books were Brave New World by Aldous Huxley and The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. They were talking hardcover, golden foil on the sides, beautiful illustration just traced in gold. So it was pretty. I wanted to read it. So, those were the only books I had at home. So those were the books that I read and reread and reread until my mom realized that this was important to me, and she made an investment in getting me some books. But yes, Oscar Wilde, I ended up falling in love with all of his other work as well, his plays, his short stories.
The first book I bought with my own money was
All American Girl by Meg Cabot, and 2 or 3 of the Princess Diaries books. Those were the first books I own, but they were a present from my mom. I'm trying to think like what were the books that I bought personally. I think it must have been comics.
my first book idea was
The first original book I wrote, because I had written a lot of fan fiction before. So anyway, it was a dystopia. It was political fantasy, and it involved werewolves and vampires and zombies. And I thought it was so smart, and it wasn't. It was bad.
the song that reminds me the most of my book is
I mean,
yeah.
my title is a song, right? By Selena Gomez. But I would say that I wrote my book listening to Lover by Taylor Swift. Especially, I think He Knows. I feel like that song is like, has heavy Nachi POV vibes. But then this year, Sour came out. Brutal.
Yeah. If you were a book, what section of the bookstore would you live in?
Rom-com, for sure. Because I am a very ridiculous person. So very ridiculous things happen to me. That's like a strong thing. I won't share my rom-com-y stories because they involve other people. So I have no sense of self-preservation, absolutely none. One time when I was going to my parents' house, and their house was in a very secluded area that they were just starting to build around. So sometimes there were lizards around there. So when I say lizard, I wanted to picture a big lizard. And I saw him from far away because there were like street lamps. I looked at him and I loved him. And very slowly, as to not startle him, because I'm not a monster, I got closer because I was like, I'm going to take this baby home. When the lizard finally realizes that I am like 2 steps away from it, it turns to me with the most horrifying face, and he ran into the sewers. That is, to this date, my biggest heartbreak.
You need to write like a paranormal romance story based on that experience, because I would read that.
Thank you for your faith in me. I do not think I can write that.
So, like a love song explores toxic relationships and online harassment. So, what do you hope readers take away from the story?
So one of my very conscious choices was Nachi's relationship with her friends and her mom. I really want people to, teens especially, to look at this book and see the way her friends treat her and she treats her friends, and know that they can have this too, that they deserve good friendships. I also want them to look at the way, for example, some of these toxic relationships, like Nachi's relationship with her ex-boyfriend, the guy who dumps her in the beginning. And I want kids to look at this and recognize people they know who are like this and be like, okay, this is the bad guy of the story. So yeah, I hope people, especially teens reading the book, they can think about their relationships.
I love that. That's very conscious and very intentional, and I really, really appreciate that. So tell us about your future projects.
Next year will come another YA rom-com from me called Bad at Love. It's a dual POV about a Brazilian guy in a rock band. He's kind of just been thrown into a rock band that already existed, and everyone thinks he's this bad boy, but it's because of a series of misunderstandings. He's actually super shy, not very confident in his English, so he doesn't speak as much. People always take it for being arrogant, and he kind of just rolls with it because it takes so much effort and English to, convince people that it was all a misunderstanding. So he doesn't. And this girl who has never really had much, and now she has the opportunity to actually go to college, but it depends on her delivering a story that is, scandalous about this guy. So she approaches him to, get closer to him and find out about just how much of a bad boy he is. Meanwhile, his bandmates make a bet with him because they think he's a womanizer. They're like, you know what? You want the song to make it to the final album? Cool. If you can date the same girl for a whole summer, we're gonna let it.
I love that. I'm very, very excited about what's to come. Thank you so much for doing this with me, Gabby.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate that.
Thank you for having me.
So people at home, don't forget to check the description below so that you can get like a love song. Thank you so much for doing this with me, Gabby, once again. And thank you everyone else for watching. We will see you in another one. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.